Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hold on. I'm still getting this set up. One
muffled.
second.
You sound like.
Oh, it's not posted. What? What? There we go.
Hey, we're at the beach.
For the hurricane. For the hurricane.
Jen, it's Sunday, August 22nd. We're pre-recording for Tuesday, August 22, 3, 4, 24th. Or is it the 25th? I don't know.
What's going on your Tuesday that we're talking today?
You sound muffled.
Oh, I know what the problem is.
Jen has to make a few technical changes. She's now turning off something behind her.
Yes, that was my AC thing that I forgot to turn off. Probably it's much quieter now.
Where are you?
I'm in the attic. Where I always
Well, you're on the beach, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm on the beach in Bermuda, Aruba.
Okay.
Anyway.
So Jen, what are we talking about today?
Well, first tell me what you're doing on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, well, Pat is going to be in Atlantic City. So I may go out to dinner with somebody. I'm not sure yet. My old friend, Pat, the other Pat that I know.
I see.
Patricia.
Oh, Pat JK.
Yes, Pat Bazinski. She's been at me to go out to dinner with her, so I might take her up on it if she's available.
Awesome. So today, let's talk about pot.
Yeah, we're going to talk about pot. I don't know how much you're going to want to talk about this, Jen.
I mean, I have a medically prescribed card. I have no issues.
Really? Do you have a medically prescribed card?
Yes, I'm not.
I think we were talking about
like
you
buying it
possibly. I think you were trying to get one. I didn't know that you actually got one.
Oh yes.
So have you made use of it yet?
Yes. So we'll talk about that, and then your new house.
My new house.
So
yes.
Exciting. Okay. So let's rewind pre-pandemic, right? Before the pandemic, never really was doing much of, the marijuana or anything like that. And then I think because of the pandemic, various doctors were pushing a lot of ads on Google for medical marijuana. I started seeing it a lot on my phone. And
I didn't see these ads. How come I didn't see them?
I know, like advertising kind of like, go to this doctor and they will do your exam and give you your information to register to the state and all of those things. And you don't have to do anything. Versus, I guess some people can go online and apply for it themselves. They still need to get a doctor's evaluation, but you could do the paperwork. So I went to like a one-stop shop place, and it was maybe like May, like when things just started to open up after being shut down for a while. And I got my appointment, had to wear a mask. And it was interesting because there are certain conditions that are qualified for medical marijuana, like anxiety, depression, pain, like cancer patients, all these things are various reasons.
Who doesn't have anxiety and depression and pain after the past year, 2 years?
Yeah, and I was like, just with all of the different, let's say, information, what to do, what not to do, you're going to die, maybe you're not going to die, all of those things of my parents, and there was a scare with one of my aunts, and this whole thing. So anyway, I go to the doctor, and it's kind of like a sheet of paper where it asks you different questions related to anxiety and concern and all these things on a scale of 1 to 5. I basically put 5 on all the things. Like, how
Wow.
often do you worry? I'm like every freaking day right now.
Oh my God, I'll be a 10.
Is there a 10 on the sheet? Yeah. So after they do that, then they tell you, okay, and I don't know, because I haven't talked to many other people that have done it, but I guess based on your condition and your needs, you get prescribed a certain amount per month. And I don't know how they determine that or anything, but mine was, I think, 3 grams or milligrams. I'm not sure which one. 3 ounces. I'm sorry, 3 ounces a month, which didn't sound like a lot. I was like, 3 ounces? Is that like
Yeah, but you're supposed
one
to,
joint? I
it's
don't
supposed
know
to be
how
like
much.
drops, like, right?
So it's the prescription is by the ounce or whatever of marijuana, but then they have these things called tinctures, which are like liquidy drops.
Right.
They don't taste like marijuana. You put it under your tongue. Some people just swallow it, but they say if you put it under your tongue and let it sit there, it'll absorb faster. Then there are these things that are called lozenges, because in the medical marijuana world, I guess calling it an edible or gummy is too playful. So they call it a lozenge.
What?
I know.
That's strange.
It is. And I was like, lozenge, I don't have a sore throat. I was confused. And they're like, no, it's just what they call the ones that you eat. And those, I think, are my most favorite because they don't kick in right away. So if you plan it right, about 45 minutes to an hour, hour 15, depending on if you've eaten, they kind of start kicking in. But if you only take one and you don't take a second one, once you kind of start feeling like a little funny, you kind of stay in this just like light, funny, relaxed, calm mood for like a few hours. And then I get like really sleepy and go to bed, which helps with the insomnia. So that's what I've mostly been using for, is the chillax and then to sleep.
Huh.
But I can't do the flower, actual smoking of the marijuana. I can't. I tried it. I think I did it wrong. They taught me like how to do it in the dispensary.
So that just so you can get medical marijuana where you actually smoke it.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
get
that
flower.
I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, you can buy flour, and it's kind of like wasteful, because you watch TV and you see like drug deals. They're like little baggies and whatever that you hand out, but in the dispensary, they're like these big, beautiful glass jars, heavy, expensive, with like 2 or 3, whatever they're called, buds inside. And then you open that, and I think that's like 1/8 of an ounce is one little jar. So if I got 3 ounces, I was like, that is a lot of weed. There's no way I could consume or smoke 3 ounces of weed a month.
Pat's dad, he suffers from extreme back pain, or sort of like leg pain that radiates from the leg to the back. I mean, he's been on the floor many times, crawling and kind of screaming in pain.
Wow.
From his back surgeries. I mean, this didn't start until he had the last back surgery. I think it was his 4th. And the surgery was supposed to relieve pain, and I think it did the opposite.
Oh,
and the same thing happened to my Aunt Vicky. She had 3 back surgeries, and her last one made it worse. So we've been encouraging Pat's father to try medical marijuana.
Yeah.
And I helped his mother apply for him online.
Oh, so you did the online application?
Yeah, we did the online application. It took about a month or something for her to get the approval. But he started with, they gave him, I'm not sure what the ounces are, but they gave him 1 container of CBD, and they wanted him to try that first.
Yep.
And 1 container of THC. So he tried the CBD, and he tried just a little bit at first, and it wasn't helping him. And then he tried the full dose of CBD, and he was able to actually get through the night sleeping, which like 7 hours, which he's not been able to do for years.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I don't know. I think CBD has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties that help
yeah,
reduce swelling and in pressure. And we give CBD, bacon flavored CBD to tequila because he has like hip issues.
right.
And if he doesn't get his 50 milligrams or whatever of his bacon CBD each morning, he's like limping and can't walk. But with just
You
that
need to
little
send me
bit.
that again because I remember you talking about that. And
Yeah.
my dog, Josie, I don't think I told you this. She was limping on her back hind leg for about a month. And I brought her into one or two doctors, again, these emergency places, and they thought it was her back acting up. So they put her on giloprantin or something, some kind of new anti-inflammatory that was supposed to help reduce the pressure that she might be having in her back. So we had her on that. Then we found out her ALT was going up for her liver functions
Because of the medicine?
because of the medicine. Yeah, but they said keep her on it, and we're going to watch her to make sure it doesn't go up more. Jen's having a drink of something.
Oh, you can't see. It's a tiny modelito. It's a mini.
Wow.
I'm on the beach. I have to have
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, she was still limping. It wasn't really helping her. And then she ran for a jump up to the sofa like she normally does, and she didn't make it. And she rammed her knee into the sofa, and she let out this freaking loud yell. And I thought, oh shit, that's not good. So I called my local vet this time instead of the specialist. And they said, you know what, if you can keep her comfortable in cage for until Tuesday when I'm back, I can take a look at her. So we brought her in Tuesday and they put her to sleep. Tuesday? Yeah. Actually, it'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah, because I remember you saying like she had to be in a cage basically.
Yeah. So she had the surgery to repair her ACL, which in dogs, it's really a CCL or something, but they said that she ripped it completely. So it wasn't even a back issue. It was her ripping her knee, one of her tendons in her knee. So they said, keep her caged for 2 weeks. And then bathroom breaks. That'll be 2 weeks. This Tuesday, I got to bring her back for a checkup. And then they said it's probably going to take 8 weeks for her to recover. And there is a 10% chance that her body might reject the implant because they're synthetic. It's a synthetic process that they use to stabilize the knee. So holy crap! They didn't tell me that when we approved the surgery.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh brother.
I mean, 10% is a low chance, but still
more to worry about. They said 5 to 10%. It's like, well, that 10% is kind of large. 1 out of every 10. Brother. So I'd hate to see her go through that again to get something else in. The more extensive surgery, they drill through the knee and add metal brackets, and it's much more intensive than what she had done. So the recovery is quicker, and they hope that she doesn't reject it.
Is she starting to walk around normally now, or when she walks,
she was still limping, but she's been putting her foot down to stabilize herself. And when she starts to walk, she's sort of trying to put her foot down. And they said that's about where she should be. That by the end of the second week, she'll have her foot touching the ground to try, getting used to it. And by the 8 weeks, she'll be back to normal, hopefully.
Wow. Well, the CBD stuff has just been unbelievable for tequila, and it works same day. But the thing that they say about CBD, it's not something that you just take it when you feel the pain. And this is even for humans. You have to keep taking it. And apparently what happens is you build up the CBD in your system. And that over time is what helps decrease the pain. So
really?
Even though you can take it once and it may help that moment, continued use is what helps.
That I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Pat's father has that bottle of THC, which is the real marijuana. And he has not tried it as far as I know, because I think there's something that Pat's mom has against it. I don't know
Well,
what the
I mean,
issue
it
is.
has, it's a polarizing topic because I
Yeah.
think even growing up in my household, it was like considered a gateway drug. It just had a like connotation of drug addicts and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think that until that stigma goes away, it's not going to be like alcohol and cigarettes and cigars.
Yeah.
That
And
people
it'll go
drink.
away eventually. Just it'll be like alcohol, that
Yeah.
some people will never want to do it. Some people are like, let's have our
Yeah.
THC.
Yeah. And it's right. It's one of those things that there's no judgment. If you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. If you do it,
The doctor did suggest to him that if you're uncomfortable taking that much at once, that you could put the drops in Jello, make Jello with it, and then eat the Jello, because I guess that slows down the absorption in your body.
yeah. And then they have 5 milligram and 10 milligram. So I would say if he's never done it, definitely start with a 5 milligram gummy. I don't know if he can.
And he's got
smoke.
drops. He doesn't have gummies.
Oh, drops. Okay. Mm.
So does THC have anti-inflammatory type things too, or I guess it probably does.
I think it does, but it's not as concentrated or that. So the THC is more for the mind and the brain, and for the body, like just relaxing. But then the CBD doesn't change. If anything, it actually makes you focus more, like a lot sharper and a lot more lucid when you're on
what?
CBD.
I think maybe the second vial that he has, it might be a combination. The first one's definitely just CBD, and the second one I think might be a combination of CBD with the THC or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the next step for him to try.
Yeah.
If the CBD alone isn't helping him.
Yeah.
But so far, so good.
Yeah, I would say, and if the CBD does it and doing the THC is going to get him trouble at home, just stick with the CBD if it works.
So a friend of mine goes to Michigan. I think it's Michigan, and I guess it's illegal there.
Illegal or legal?
It is illegal. And I know it's illegal in Chicago also, Illinois.
Yep.
And he had gummies.
And you're talking about recreational, right?
Yeah. And he had gummies, and he gave me one to try. And he said, take half of one. He said, if you take a full one, you're going to be out of it. Mm-hmm. And I took a half of one. And just like you said, it took about maybe 45 minutes for me to feel anything. But for me, it was, I wouldn't say it was relaxing. It was sort of a little unnerving.
Really?
And it's hard to describe. I remember standing at the sink, and it's almost like I feel like I'm in another zone right now. Like I'm in another existence. Dimension for like a split second. It was really weird. And I didn't like the feeling.
It is like a detachment, I think, from like your consciousness somehow.
So you felt that too?
Yeah, with the THC, it's like, I know a lot of times I'll start a sentence and I'm talking halfway through, and then I was like, I forgot where I was going with this. Like,
that's me ordinarily. Imagine me plus that. It's like, oh my God, I would never get anything done.
Yeah, there's a lot of, or there are people talking and I'm listening to them, and I lose track of what their point is. Like, I can't follow a conversation or keep a conversation.
So is this something you're just going to use to like fall asleep then or something?
Yeah, it's 99% go to sleep, and then the other 1% is like, it's fun to do it if you're going to watch like music videos or something. The lights and the flashing and the music, you're just like, this is the best music. And then you fall asleep. It's great.
How about Manuel? Did he try any of this?
Yeah, he's tried it, and he like gets really what is the word? Like giggly. Like he laughs a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's some people do.
Up. Yeah. And then he cracks me up because he's laughing at himself or the cats. So
I think after I got past the dimensional stuff, then I was more like that. but
The
it took a while to
first,
get there.
yeah, I mean, the first time we did it in front of other people was like after a year of like doing it at home in isolation, understanding how I react to it. Because
Right.
I don't, first of all, I don't want to be out in front of people drooling out the corner of my mouth and I don't know what I'm doing. But that's
Come
the
on, you're
cool
not that
thing.
bad.
The cool thing about it is you don't forget. It's not like when you get drunk, you get sick or anything like that. And like you remember all of the things. So it's good. It's not like I would sit and drool in a corner. I would know that I'm drooling in a corner. But then also, I was nervous about how I would react in a setting. Like let's say I took a gummy and went to a concert or whatever, a movie theater. I don't know if I would start getting paranoid in those situations.
Yeah.
So that was my other concern. It's like,
And that my friend who has done this for years, he said the same thing, is that some people get very paranoid depending on the situation. It's something you got to experiment with.
yeah, well, and I mean, I would say for the most part, this is only something we do in our house at like a couple hours or something before we're going to go to bed. And it's just like a nice transition to like going to bed.
Right.
Otherwise it's 3-4 a.m. and I'm just like, I can't sleep.
I take sleep pills at 1 o'clock if I think I'm going to need to sleep.
Oh man, like melatonin or like the hard stuff?
Sometimes I use melatonin, like 10 milligrams, and I don't know if it's all in my head that it sometimes helps me, sometimes it doesn't. Otherwise, I take 5 milligrams of Ambien, and that will put me out.
Oh yeah, Ambien will
Yeah.
knock you out for sure.
So
Anyway, I mean, I think it's cool. It's something that I'm not against marijuana, medical or recreational. I think as long as people are being smart about it and not
yeah,
driving and not doing dumb things
like
while they're
anything
on it,
else,
yeah,
I agree.
then there's no harm. You don't hear about people starting fights and beating people up when they're high on weed. They're usually
Although
sitting on the couch.
if you knew a heroin addict who started with marijuana and then found themselves to be using heroin, and then they amazingly got off heroin,
Mm-hmm.
would you advise them not to do marijuana? Because the person I know does still do pot, who
No,
was a heroin addict.
I think they're totally different.
Yeah.
They're just heroin is very bad, obviously.
Yeah.
And a lot of heroin addicts are at risk of relapse. So if the weed helps kind of fill the gap for whatever that they need.
That's a lot better than the heroin. Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally.
So on a broader note, oh, not really broader note, but I was looking on the news, and I don't know if you read this, but did you see that New Jersey, the regulators approved rules for adult use marijuana markets 1 year after it was legalized? Yeah.
What are the rules?
Well, they just started to meet about it. So it's called the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission. And they've been taking public testimony for months on proposed rules to try and figure out what they want to do, blah, blah, blah. So it's getting closer to where you will actually have stores in New Jersey where you can go and get recreational marijuana.
Well, when I go into smoke shops, because I like hookahs.
Right.
And the smoke shops usually have like all these like bongs that are for tobacco, but obviously you could be for anything. And I go there and buy the flavored tobacco and charcoal. And all the ones that I go to, I always ask them, are you guys going to carry recreational marijuana when it becomes available? Some are like, yeah, we're gonna, have a section, and then others are sticking to smoke accessories and letting stores sell the actual weed itself. It's interesting.
So remember we were talking, I guess it was about a year ago when this became legal, what it would cost to like open a store or something. And we didn't really know. So
it's
now
very expensive to get in the game of weed.
I don't know about that anymore. Based
Really?
on what I'm reading, and maybe I'm not reading this right, but if you look for the articles about the regulators that are talking about this thing, it says the fee to apply for the license is kept intentionally low, with applicants only needing to pay 20% of the fee at the time of submitting the application, and any 80% only if it's approved. The total fees will range from 500 to 2,000. And that's to do different types of roles for marijuana. Like you could have a store, you could be delivering it,
Grower.
you
Yeah,
could be
you could be.
growers. So the fees, it sounds like it's really low to apply for, but then I don't know how they're going to pick who is going to be authorized to do those different things.
I'm not sure, but I know in one of the Facebook groups that I'm in for my town, there's a lot of kind of debate about the fairness or lack of fairness in picking people to have these businesses. And part of it is something about um, politicians or lobbyists are working to get these businesses for big corporations or big companies. And it's really making other people mad because they want mom and pop kind of dispensaries, but it's kind of seeming like they're going to be big, whatever franchises and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's not right either, especially for these low fees that I'm reading. Anybody
Yeah.
should be able to create a corner of their stores at a coffee shop
Mm-hmm.
and sell marijuana if they wanted to.
Yeah,
At least
I
that's
don't
my
think,
opinion.
I think that's not how it's going to play out. It's going to be who you know will get
As it always is. It's
as it
who you
always
know,
is. Yeah,
brother.
yeah. And then I think there's some talk about Whoopi Goldberg, who owns some kind of marijuana company or has some ties to it,
Right?
is partnering with the people in our town because she lives in West Orange to, I think, open her own dispensary.
Really?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know Whoopi Goldberg's name
I didn't realize she
thrown around.
lived in West Orange.
Yep, she does.
How far is she from your house?
She is, I know she lives in Llewellyn Park, so that's maybe 10 minutes away.
Did you ever drive by her house?
No, it's a gated community, so I
Oh.
can't go inside. But yeah.
Do people like know her address?
Oh, I don't, maybe. I bet if you Google it,
I mean, if you go to like Beverly Hills, you can get these charts where you could see where people live, and then you drive by
no,
and go
I
look at
mean
their house.
that neighborhood in West Orange called Llewellyn Park is the oldest gated community, I think, in the US. And it's really fancy, and I was looking at homes in there, but the problem is there's an HOA and the taxes are ridiculous inside. So the house may not be crazy expensive, but you're paying like $2,000 a month in HOA and $46,000 in taxes. And
Wow,
it's like, what?
that's crazy.
It is crazy. So that's
What are
why
your taxes there?
here, mine
Yeah.
are 19.
Oh my God,
I know,
that's
it's a lot.
crazy too.
I know.
19,000 per year. South Brunswick, I think we
19,000.
were at 17,000 before we moved out, and here we're about 9.
9.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
That's why we want to move to Englewood Cliffs, because they don't have schools, and you can buy like $1 million house, and your taxes are $10,000.
Really?
Yes.
Are you getting $1 million house, Jen?
One day. One day.
After all that Aldez tequila and gin
One
pay
day.
off, right?
Yes, for sure. But it's like I think for us, as we're kind of like deciding what we want to do, I don't think we're going to put the money in like big homes. If anything, we'll rent and use the money to just travel everywhere.
Yeah.
Versus having to own and maintain.
So speaking of traveling and owning and maintaining.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm going to tell you about the house that Pat and I just bought. But before I do that, just one more thing about the marijuana. When we talked about this before, the application fee was $20,000, remember?
Yes.
And now it's much less. But there's one little thing in here. It says for existing medical marijuana dispensaries, medical marijuana, transitioning into the recreation marijuana business requires a one-time fee of between $800,000 to $1 million.
Whoa.
Isn't that ridiculous?
To switch to recreational?
Yeah. That's just crazy.
That is crazy. That also explains why in Denver, there are some dispensaries that only do medical versus both.
Probably for the same BS.
Yeah, and I was like, that's weird. Why would they not tap into the recreational marijuana market? Maybe they're just hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, you've got all the facilities and distribution and everything else figured out for medical. What's different about recreation that you would want to make people pay that kind of a fee?
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is in the situation. That's weird. Huh.
All right, so on to my house. So
yes.
we've been looking for quite a while.
Yes. The haunted house is still coming soon.
Oh, good, because we got to do that, Jen.
I know. Once it's available, we're going.
So, Jen, I never thought that Pat and I would buy a house sight unseen, but we did.
That's so crazy.
For hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're crazy. So you saw it on Zillow or something? Where'd you
we were looking in the Ephrata area, and we had bid on 2 of their houses, and we were outbid because we didn't want to keep going up. And we've been looking for a place that has, everything that we had today. Plus, Pat wanted a detached garage, and I wanted to be close to my relatives in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
So we bid on a house that we found on Zillow, and we were the first or second person to put in a bid because it was just listed, and we happened to find it. And we contacted the realtor we've been working with, and he said he would contact the owner or the realtor that was the listing agent and tell them that we were willing to bid a full price and a couple other things that we threw in there, like we would pay the transition tax or something for them, which is worth about $3,000. So we were more or less paying over their asking price. And they came back to us and said, well, we want $15,000 more. That's what they're hoping to get from their home sale, because all these homes that are being listed in Pennsylvania and many in New Jersey, they don't list them for the amount that they think they're going to get. They list them a little bit lower. And then they have bidding wars for people that are trying to get these houses. Frenzy. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So they said if we were willing to commit to that number, that they would sell it to us. So Pat and I said, it's more than what we wanted to buy, but it does have everything we wanted. And we were tired of going through all this. We had money that we wanted to invest. So we did it. We signed the dotted line, and we are closing in October.
October? Why so far out?
Because the owners and us, we wanted to delay it because part of what we're paying for this is with our land sale in Florida, because we sold the land that we had 2 lots right on the water canal, 2 minutes from the Gulf of Mexico. And then we needed some more cash. So we got a home equity loan to fill in the gap. And that takes a little bit while of maybe just a week or 2 to get that all processed. So we said we'd like to have 30 days, but then they pushed it out longer because their plans were to sell when the market was high. Then they're moving into an apartment, and they're going to stay in the apartment for about 5 years.
That's smart.
And then they're retiring early to Punta Cana. That's their plan. I said the same thing. It's like, I never heard of anybody retiring to the Dominican Republic.
Unless you're Dominican.
Then I did a little research, and apparently it's a very popular thing to do for Americans that have money, because it's only a 2-hour flight from New York, and the cost of living is very affordable. Mm-hmm. You can get a nice house there for $140,000, like a beautiful house in a gated community, and the medical is very good in certain areas, and the crime is not the best, but that's why people live in typically gated communities, to keep control of the crime. So
yeah, but I mean, we're going to the DR in 2 weeks, so I'm excited.
Yeah, where are you going? Like, what part?
Punta Cana.
Oh, you are? Yeah. Have you been there before?
Yes, this will be my 3rd time there.
Holy crap.
What's that?
Holy crap.
Yeah. So this time we were supposed to go, I think, 4 days to Punta Cana, and then 3 days to Santo Domingo. And like the DR right now is not doing great with Delta variant and things. There's curfew and all this stuff. So we decided just to change our plans and stay in Punta Cana for the whole week. And then
At the resort, or are you
Yes.
allowed to walk around?
No, at the resort. We're gonna stay, kind of protected inside of the resort,
Right.
versus venturing out into like the city, which is Santo Domingo.
And has the thought ever crossed your mind about retiring to Dominican
No,
Republic?
I mean, we're gonna retire in Spain. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
The
100%.
other thing about the Dominican Republic is that they give all sort of tax breaks to Americans if you can prove that you have a retirement income of at least 2,000 per what was it, per month,
I
which
don't know.
Pat has. I mean, and a lot of people have that.
It's like the DR is, it's a little rough around the edges for me. Like I like more Mexico and southern part of Spain, but I've also never been outside of like the resort areas.
It's a
That's
little
why I
rough.
was excited.
It's a little rough, you mean, with the people that are living there, low income and crime?
Yeah,
and
low
stuff?
income. The poverty is very high. There's a big gap. Like any
The haves and
country.
have-nots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And the
with
Americans are the haves.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the Dominican folks are very desperate, and so that leads to crime and all of those things.
And Spain is much different. Where in Spain do you want to go?
I think we've settled on Seville.
Why?
Because it is convenient to airports and trains and stuff to get around the EU. It's bigger than like Jerez, which is where the town we usually go. It has a little bit more to do, beautiful downtown, all this stuff, but still small enough that it's not like Marbella or Malaga. It's a little smaller than those big cities.
What's the primary language in Seville?
Spanish.
And you're fluent in Spanish?
No, I will be though.
You don't speak Spanish.
I understand Spanish, let's say, but
when Manuel is yelling at you.
But Spanish, I don't understand. They have they're proper Spanish, and they have the vosotros and different type of Spanish than like my mom's Ecuadorian. That Spanish is different than the Spain's Spanish. Spanish.
Huh. I've never even had a desire to go to Spain.
Oh man, you will love it.
Yeah. That's one thing that if one of our next cruises might go to Spain, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I still want to go to parts of Greece and parts of Italy, but I still think I still feel like I'll like Spain more, but we'll see once I go there.
Go to Mykonos. That's where it's at.
Yeah, but that's so expensive and touristy. I'm not into that. It's good to visit, but
you want to just blend in and not have the tourists.
Yeah. I don't like. That's like going to Times Square in New York. Like,
no, thank you.
Don't want to do that.
No, I don't even want to go for. Once in a while, I go to see a show if I have to. But
yes, but that's for a purpose. It's like I have to go to the Times Square, but I'm going to, whatever, some show, or Stephen Colbert, or Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett.
Yes, the show that you left without me.
Yes. And then we never did our plans that we were supposed to have because
I know, because we were involved in this house. We went back to Pennsylvania on Friday. I took off of work because we were trying to also sell our park model RV in the campground that we've had for 7 years. And everything was getting effed up because the buyers are from Maryland and they wanted to title it in Pennsylvania. But really, you're supposed to title it in the state that you are resident in, which would be Maryland. But because their daughter titled it in Pennsylvania, and she's from Maryland, they insisted on doing the same thing. And I guess they thought that if they did it, it would be a more secure thing to do. So because we were transferring our New Jersey title to Pennsylvania, the titling company who works for PennDOT, Department of Transportation, they said that you have to have proof of the VIN number and the weight on the frame of the RV. And
on the frame? What do you mean the
yes,
frame?
on the frame, there should be like a tag or embedded mark of the VIN number and the weight. That was a requirement to transfer the title.
Interesting.
Guess what our trailer didn't have, Jen?
You didn't have the frame with that information?
It didn't have the VIN number or the
weight?
Weight embedded on the frame.
So can't you go and
oh my God. We called so many people. We called so many people, and we found the one place said if you have to get the V or some form of MV41 form for Pennsylvania. And I had to get it to an certified inspection mechanic for heavy duty trailers, that he would then certify that the VIN number and the weight of the trailer was correct based on their industry knowledge. Which was such horseshit.
Yeah.
So I found a guy that was in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, and he was willing to do it, to sign off on it, because I showed him
to do it.
Yeah.
Like, fine.
He didn't exactly, but he didn't even have to go out there. And I showed him the title from the former title from Pennsylvania when we bought it. I showed him my title. They both had 17,000 pounds. And then I got an email or letter from the manufacturer that he confirmed, the general manager, that it would be 17,000 pounds matching the title. And I had to get the letter from them because they had no other records from park models that were built in 2007. No records.
Wow. How is that? There was digital and computers.
Exactly.
Why did they not have it?
Well, they
Not
got
like it
also
was
got
1987.
They got bought out by another company, and I don't know what happened that they don't have records. So he was nice enough to write the letter, which was evidence that the guy could use for giving me that stupid 41 form. And we got
How much
it.
did he charge you to do that?
We asked him, you charge me whatever you want. I said, what's it worth to you to help us out?
$1 million.
And when we got there and he gave us the form, he said, oh, no charge.
Oh.
And we're like, what? We got to give you something. So we gave him $50. Pat gave him $50, said, buy yourself a nice dinner. I was going to give him about $100 for what he did for us. It wasn't for that little
Pat,
form.
$50 is not a nice dinner.
It wasn't exactly. That's like McDonald's.
Have yourself a nice lunch.
Yeah. So he was a nice guy.
With no alcohol.
No alcohol, right?
Well, anyway.
What a headache. So that's one more chapter of my life closed.
So what's going to happen with the house you're in? You're going to have both and just kind of
we're going to have both.
Share your time between the two?
Pat can retire in 2 years. He's already retired as a police officer.
Yeah.
But he's working full-time for Department of Homeland Security. So he wants to work for another 2 years if he can take it that long. If he doesn't walk out in a huff, and then he's going to have all of his debt paid, other than this house.
Does he have a desk job, or does he have a field job?
It's a field job. So he has an office at work. When he's doing reports, they gave him a company car, and he gets paid what he wanted to get paid. So he doesn't work real hard. No offense.
It's government. I mean.
Yeah, it's government. It's a municipal job.
It works. So, it goes in its own pace.
So he wants me to work till I'm 62, because he said at 62 I can take early retirement with Social Security, and I'll still get his medical benefits. And I might do something part-time if I want to hold off collecting, like in contracting. So we'll have to see. We might retire in about 2 years, or at least he'll be ready to. Mm-hmm. Then we will decide at that point in 2 years if we're going to stay here longer, because I'm still working in New Jersey. Is there
ever a time where you would sell this house and live full-time in Pennsylvania?
Well, if I hold out till I'm 62 working full-time, then we would sell it after that point. Or if I find a virtual job of some sort, we might consider selling it sooner and going to Pennsylvania.
Okay. All right. We need to make sure to hang out like in real life at some point.
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
Jen and I brought it to Jen 2 weeks ago, and we weren't online yesterday last week, but I brought it 2 weeks ago. I said we should go to this magic thing that they do. I forget what it was called.
Speakeasy Magic with
Speakeasy
a
Magic. I
K. And I
found
was
it
so
based on
excited about it.
right, and she was like, "Oh, I wanted to do something while Manuel's gone. I've got some people that can go with us. So did you go, Jen?"
Yeah. No, because of the hurricane. Well, last weekend, no, because I was supposed to go with you. And we were supposed to go do something this weekend, and you said you couldn't because of the house.
Yeah.
So I was going to go yesterday to the city, and I think maybe the I Love New York, I Love NYC concert, which got canceled because of the heavy rain that started happening yesterday with
When does Manuel get
Andre.
back?
Tuesday.
Oh.
I know we missed out, but I already told them, at some point, Darren and I are gonna go to New York, and he's gonna. Oh, so let me tell you about this.
Well, you can
Because
take it maybe before we started because you're all over the place right now.
because you couldn't go. I asked my two friends that were gonna go with us.
Right.
We have other people, and she was like, "This is her word." She's like, "I asked my gays about the situation, and they said like 3 girls cannot go into a gay bar without a gay guy. Like you need to
Why
have at
not?
least." This was what her gays told her. I don't know.
What?
She said that 3 straight women they would get stares if they went into a gay bar without a gay guy with them. And so that kind of like threw a wrench in our plans because now we have to go with a gay guy. We can't just go.
Okay, so here's what I'm
together.
thinking, Jen.
Okay.
I don't consider myself gay looking. I don't swag and I don't
I
dress like
agree. You're
a
not
hip
like
star,
the stereotypical.
So I'd be walking in like I'm the straight guy with a beer gun
We'd
with
be
3
walking in.
women.
We would be walking in like drag queens. Like, coming in all like.
So I don't know that rule would really apply with me going. I don't know.
Oh man. Well,
Did
anyway,
she give
so
you? Did she ask her gay friends if there were any lesbian bars in New York?
no, I don't think she asked about lesbian. This was always centered around like
Because this
just.
could be just you and your friends going to a lesbian bar by yourself.
But I feel like that is sending the wrong message.
But you wanted to see if you can get picked up by a
Like going
woman,
to a
right?
gay bar, clearly we're not guys. Clearly we're. But
No.
lesbian bar, I think would maybe definitely send the wrong message, and we would get hit on and have to be turning ladies down.
So here's two lesbian bars you should write down.
Oh boy, tell me.
One is Henrietta Hudson,
Okay.
which is 438 Hudson Street.
How do you know the address?
It's a lesbian bar with a nice atmosphere, according to Google Maps.
Oh,
And then
you've
the
never
next
been there?
one, no. And then the next one is the Cubby Hole. I'm not sure what that means. 281 West 12th Street. It says the best and pretty much only lesbian bar left in the area.
What?
The Cubby Hole. That's on
Yeah,
the west
I don't know.
side.
Lesbian bars, I'm on the fence because I feel like again that is sending the wrong message. And like I'm not there to pick women up. I'm just there to like dance with gay guys. That's what I want to do.
So the last gay bar I went to in New York was Flaming Saddle Saloon.
Wow, that's a name.
Because I was staying in New York City overnight because I was in a conference the next day or something. And I didn't want to, or the next morning, and I didn't feel like driving back to New Jersey and then driving back the next day. So I stayed at some cheap hotel. I forget what it was. And I went to Flaming Saddle Saloon, and some guy was drunk off his ass trying to pick me up. And I thought, is this the best I can do?
I'm too good for you. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. It's like, why can't I have
I can do
somebody
much
that's
better.
not drunk that's trying to pick me up?
Well, good for you. That's good that you're still getting hit on.
Yeah.
I guess. But I mean,
did I mention he was 75 years old?
Oh man. Wow.
No, I think he was probably he was probably mid 40s or something. But I felt bad for the guy because, like, I mean, he was just sloshed. I don't get
Well,
sloshed when I drink. I don't think.
well, and I mean, it's like, especially if you go by yourself, it's what I've learned in these 2 weeks since Manuel's been gone. And I went out Thursday for a company thing. Friday, oh, Friday was a whole thing because I thought this event we were supposed to go to, a concert in Jersey City, was on Friday. So my friend and I got dressed, we went into Jersey City, and there was like nobody there. We saw them putting up like the projector thing outdoors. And she's like, is this where it is? And I'm like, yes, I think so. I don't know what's going on. And I looked at the thing and it said Saturday, August 21st. And I was like, oh man, we came over here. It's the wrong day. So we, and it was the next day, and I'm sure it got canceled with the hurricane, but we decided to walk around Jersey City, went to a couple cool places, which half of it, so I kind of went to a gay bar. We went to a place, had dinner, drinks, and my friend like went to the bartender and was like, do you know this is the owner of Valdez? And like I turned beet red because
Why?
I hate that. I get so like shy.
You're the owner of the
I
company.
know.
You're supposed to be marketing the company.
Oh my God, so bad.
I can't believe you got beet red. That doesn't sound like you, Jen.
Well, because I wasn't prepared. Like we were walking around looking at the place because it's a nightclub, but because it was like 9 p.m., it wasn't a nightclub yet. It was like a sit-down dinner place. So we were looking, and there are 3 floors or something. It's a huge, beautiful place called the Ashford in Jersey City. And so we went up to the 3rd floor above the DJ booth. And that's where we saw a bar, and the bartender, nobody was up there. And that's when she told the bartender, I'm the owner. That's why it was like embarrassing because it was just the 3 of us and we were like exploring their bar.
What did the bartender say?
And she's like, have you heard of Valdez? And he was like, show me a picture. And she showed him a picture, and she's like, oh, he was saying, yeah, actually, we carried that in this other place called Blue Steel Pizza in Jersey City. Love the tequila, blah, blah, blah. He's like, if you know, are looking for someone to work for you and all this stuff. And he got his card. But then he's like, have you been to this bar before? And I was like, no, this is my first time. It's beautiful. And he's like, well, there's 2 sides. There's the Ashland, and then the other side is called 626, and it's a gay bar. And I was like, why is it called 626? And he's like, because June 26th is when I think gay marriage became legal or something like that.
Ah.
And so we went, he's like, all right, let me give you a tour. And he showed us all around, and then we walked through like the employees walkway that no one can go to. And we got spit out on the other side, which was the gay bar side. So technically I did go to a gay bar, but it was just
yes,
like,
you did.
This is a gay bar. And
SIX26.co.
Oh, SIX
26.co.
Oh,
You were in a gay bar, Jen.
I did go in a gay bar.
Did you have a drink?
It was freaking 9 p.m. It was too early.
Oh yeah, nobody's gonna be there.
Yeah, and he said it's like Friday, Saturday, 11 or 12 is when things.
Yeah, everybody's got to make their grand entrance later in the night.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was still like early dinner crowd, and we weren't planning to hang in Jersey City, but we did, and it was nice.
Jen, did you wear your mask in the bar?
No, but they.
You tempt fate everywhere.
I know. I don't know. I always show you pictures of my phone, and you can't really see them. Oh, especially with the background. Let me have to turn it off. I want to show you the guy that we had to the doorman. So
was he hot?
I mean, you tell me. Turn off my background. Hold on. How do I turn it off?
Last time you held a camera up, I couldn't really see the picture, but try it anyway.
Let's see. I'm doing it. You see how tall he is?
Oh, holy crap.
Right? He's like
this dude looks like he must be 7'10" or something, or is she real short? Wait, who is standing next to him?
That's Cindy. You know Cindy.
Wow. He's 7'4". He looks much taller than that.
7 freaking 4. And he looked like a 9 feet tall.
So Jen, as a woman, when you see a man like that, do you
No.
think? No, yes, you do. Come on.
Well, I mean, their body parts have to be in proportion to their body, I would imagine, because you can't have like itty bitty feet.
So
and a
you do think
7 foot.
about it.
Well, I'm thinking about it now.
Oh my God, Jen. They must be
I mean,
huge.
I assume he's huge, which isn't necessarily a good thing, by the way.
Jen, on that note, we're out of time.
Darren's like, the bigger the better. But anyway,
All
all
righty.
right.
It's been
Enjoy
nice talking to you, Jen.
your dinner
Yep.
with Pat. Tell her I said hi.
All righty.
Till
Thanks.
next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.